Last September, I thrifted this massive piece of corduroy. It's probably like 3 meters here. And I'm finally putting use to it today. We are going to make the puff and pencil bomber pattern. I already printed out the pattern, cut it all out. So now we just need to cut it out of the fabric. I decided to make a bomber out of the fabric because I used to have a corduroy jacket that I thrifted. Really liked it, but ultimately I didn't actually love the fit of it, but I like the idea of having a corduroy jacket. So now we're just gonna make one that I think will fit better. I do love an oversized jacket that I can just throw on anything. So I'm making a size medium in this. And I think it should be good. Now I just remembered corduroy is one way, so that's one way. Okay, I'm going to start on the other side. It's the next day, and it actually took quite a bit of time to cut everything out because I had so many pieces for this. Also the lining, and what else? Oh, I also had to do fusing for a lot of pieces, like so. So everything is finally complete and ready to sew. I have my laptop here with the instructions because there's some things that I haven't sewn in so long, which is like the pockets. This is something I really need to follow the instructions for. I haven't sewn a welt pocket in like, I don't know, years at this point. So this is gonna be something I'm going to really rely on, and I'm interested to see how this is gonna go. So the first step is pockets. Now I'm going to take both of my pocket pieces. Oh. You know what I also realized? I didn't buy matching thread for this. I have this tray of all these tiny spools, so maybe I have one, but like this is not really enough to do a whole jacket with. This is what I'm gonna do. When there's a stitch that is visible on the outside, I'm gonna use this. And for the rest of it, I'm just going to use a cream because it's not so stark against the beige. Like when I'm attaching the sleeves and the lining and everything, I'll do mostly that. I need to look in the natural light for this. I actually found this one hiding in the bottom, and this seems like the perfect match. Here we go for welt pockets. I need to fold it over, match some notches up. If you signed up for my Patreon that I announced last week, thank you so much. If you are wondering what I'm talking about, I did start a Patreon. It's linked down below. There's some public posts so you can kind of get a glimpse at what it's like, and you can check out the tiers to see what you get. There's also a free pattern. But now let's figure this out. Okay, 1.5. First piece done. Now we do the same to the other. I have the pocket sewed on, and you're supposed to like mark the welt pocket before and stitch around it, but I just noticed it's not perfectly lined up with the back. Like it's a little off. I hope that's not a problem. I'm just gonna go by this piece because there's more to work with here, I think. As I'm sewing, I just can't help but I think about all the ways that I'm gonna wear this jacket, and I already have the perfect shoes for it. So the shoes that I already imagined this bomber with are actually these two pairs of shoes, and they're from a brand called Vivaya, which is an eco-friendly brand that focuses on comfort, high quality, and the best part is they're all very fashionable and stylish. We love a comfortable but fashionable shoe. So the first pair I got are actually the Margot Mary Jane in denim blue. Now, living in the Netherlands, especially with the cobblestone everywhere, I'm always looking for a flat but really comfortable and cute shoe, which is why I got the Mary Jane. I love the square toe, how versatile and timeless the design is. These ones are super flexible, making them so comfortable when you're walking, as well as having this adaptive strap. You can make them as tight or as loose as you want, and they have a bit of stretch to it. And the best part is, if they ever get dirty, you can just throw them in the wash. They're machine washable, which is super handy. Vivaya also sells little shoe accessories. I got these really cute Dora bows in cream just to add a little extra something to your shoe. They easily slip on. You can put them on the front, on the side, just to elevate your shoe and change the look. And the other shoes I got are the Audrey loafer with the cheetah. I love that the cheetah is split in two. Now, someone with bad knees, I'm really relying on shoes with arch support. I know I'm getting old, but these have amazing arch support as well as a heel padding, making it really comfortable when you wear them for a long time. Also super flexible, and again, if they ever get dirty, you can just throw them in the wash, which honestly helps so much. I feel like I'm gonna get so much wear out of these shoes. They're both so versatile and go with so many outfits, but you can check out Vivaya at the link down below to see more of their designs. Super timeless, super comfortable, and honestly, so many colors and options. And you can use the code Eleanor12 for 12% off. Now let's get back to the bomber. I need to cut it. Oof, okay. This is the nerve-wracking part. I need to cut this pocket, and I always put it in half first, and I line up the stitches so when I do my first cut it is symmetrical. Okay, got our first cut through both of it. Oh, that was nerve-wracking. Okay, we cut it, and now we need to flip it through the hole to the wrong side. It looks so lumpy now, but I have to do a little press to get my sharp corners. But guys, we have our lumpy pocket opening. Pocket. Future flap. This is chic. Good thing I found that perfectly matching thread, because my next step is to do a top stitch around the three edges of the pocket. This is definitely a very oversized bomber. Did I go too big? If it's too big for me, I just give it to my boyfriend. Super happy with the pockets. I love how they turned out. Now I have just a few small steps to do. This one I already did. It was just the back piece that I put on and then added the top stitch for it. Then I have to do the collar, and this is actually the placket for underneath the zipper. It just has to go in half. I'm gonna quickly whip this up. I just sewed the collar together, and something I don't like, and I see it a lot in patterns especially, is when they tell you to clip curves and cut corners and stuff. I don't like it because I feel like it's not the most efficient way to do things. I've learned in production sewing that usually you just do a smaller seam allowance on curves, like a quarter, max a 3/8. Any bigger, that's when you need to adjust the seam allowance. So I feel like when you're drafting it, you should just make a smaller seam allowance so you don't need to clip any curves. Know what I mean? Also, something that I was taught, instead of clipping and taking notches out, to just cut the seam allowance down to 1/8, because if you turn it out and press it, you might see those divots, especially on something like this, where if I press it, you can like see all the marks underneath. So I'm going to just do that. I'm gonna trim it down. For the placket, to help reinforce it, they suggest to do this triangle stitch and to mark this on the fabric. Because I don't want to use chalk on my corduroy, I marked it with pins, and I just staggered them, so I know I have to go from this corner to the point here down to this pin, and that's how I marked it out. Actually, this is working quite well. Placket done. Also the collar done with the top stitch. What's next? Now I have to attach the zipper in, and to be honest, I don't love the zipper. It's a pretty good match. It is exposed, a bit lighter. Oh, actually, like a lot lighter, but it's the best I could do. I'm really not sold on the zipper, and I'm not sure if I want to go to the store yet. So I'm going to jump a few steps ahead and do things that don't require the zipper yet. Like the sleeve is in two parts. I'm gonna put that together, and the lining. I'm sewing the sleeves together, but guess what just happened? I emptied a whole spool. This is roughly the size that it comes in, and I just finished one. That's like a lot of sewing. Crazy. I do have 4 more of the same color, so it's all good. I also called the sewing store, and they do have zippers that I need. I just need to see other zipper options. I completed the lining. Now let's go to the store. And I actually also have to bring my bike to get fixed because my front tire is so flat. I'm back from the store and I may have bought the same exact zipper that I already had. It kind of looks the same, but I didn't want to not buy it in case it was slightly different, and it's the same. Wow. Wow, Al. I just bought 2 of the same. I guess we're going with the zip. Well, that's annoying. I thought the zipper would be like a fast thing. No, this is not lined up. Okay, let's do it. Now that the zip is on, it's looking good. I will say it feels still like a little bit off by like an 1/8 or so, but it's kind of hard to tell, but it's looking good. So I'm gonna leave it here for today. This is what it's looking like so far. The back, or the inside if you're interested. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here. Tomorrow we can actually finish the jacket and put it all together. I did make some minor changes that suits my bomber preferences, but I'll show you tomorrow. Back at the studio, and I'm really excited to actually finish this jacket today. The front, back, and sleeves are all assembled. I did that all yesterday. So now it's just more about assembling the actual jacket together. The jacket is somewhat together. Oh, should we make a little cape with this, something like this? You know, the size isn't so bad now that I have it on. And then it gets like squished together, which is the next stage of this jacket. It's a lot longer than I thought. No, that's okay. The jacket is looking more like a jacket rather than a cape now, but the next part is actually the part where I made some changes. It's the ribbing that goes on the cuffs and the bottom of the jacket. I'll pop up the photo of the jacket they did there where you can see. Now personally, and this is just my personal thing that I have, I don't love the look of a knit rib on the bottom of a woven jacket. So I altered the pattern a little, and I just did it out of the same corduroy. We're gonna sew it together, fold it up so it ends up looking like so. But I also got elastic, and I'm gonna put elastic in the cuffs and also on the bottom. That way it still cinches it together, but it's just the same fabric. My cuffs are both done now. It reminds me of those, I don't know why, but those dogs with like all the wrinkles. That's what it reminds me of. Came back from my lunch and I actually read all the instructions while I was eating because I wanted to figure out this like elastic in the bottom situation, and I put myself in a little bit of a pickle. I think I know what I want to do, but it's just going to be a little bit of a nuisance. Basically, this is the band that goes across the bottom. I need to attach it to this bottom little piece here, and then it goes around. The only thing is this has to fold and it creates that bottom waistband, but I need to put the elastic inside, and I want the elastic to be in this seam allowance so it's not just floating inside. Obviously it needs to be stitched at the end so there could be the tension there. So I need to figure out how long to do this elastic and also figure out how to work around this elastic that I have to attach now but not enclose till later. I just measured it out here. Of course, I have the jacket laying out. This is the length from this pin to the cut end is the length of the pattern piece that I took from, oh my goodness, my desk is such a mess. This is the pattern piece up until here only, and it says to cut on fold, so I did the same thing, but instead of cutting it, I put a pin in it. So from this pin all the way to that cut end is the same size as the pattern piece, and I think it's good. I managed to get the bottom on. This is what it's looking like so far. As you can see, I attached the elastic inside in this seam here, and then this gets turned like so. This piece attaches to the lining, which keeps it all up, which is the next step. I need to actually put this collar on. I haven't popped the collar on yet. So I'm gonna pop this on, and then we can start adding the lining, and the lining is what like puts this whole jacket together. Lining time! You know the process, just attaching the lining all the way up the zipper, around the collar, and down. The lining is fully attached. I need to turn it inside out, but I will tell you, if you are gonna make this jacket and you have a thicker fabric, you need to make sure that your machine can power through a lot of layers. I feel like I almost broke a needle when I was sewing this together because of how many layers I have in some parts. Okay, despite all the fluffs, not bad. Now I need to just attach the bottom. The jacket is fully enclosed now, finally. Took a while. But I just have a bunch of little final touches to do, some tacks, and actually still have to enclose the elastic at the bottom here. It's just kind of floating around. But I'm going to do that off screen and I'll come back to you when it's fully styled. But before we go to the final reveal, just a small reminder that if you want to step up your shoe game this spring, you can go to the link down below. Check out Vivaya, see what other shoes they have. They have a lot of options. And don't forget you can use Eleanor12 for 12% off your order. Let's style this thing.